Hey everyone, today I want to talk about a big problem and a solution that I found. So usually we tend to buy Apollo or ZoomInfo or Cognism, all those type of solutions for contact enrichment and contact finding. However, the issue with them is that when you buy that, that's the only source of data that you have and you rely on that. And what BetterContact has done with their lead finder is to consolidate information from 10 data providers and waterfall between them to find the people that we're looking for, which gives you a lot more coverage. And you can tell me, hey, but I can do it in Clay. Of course you can do it in Clay, but not everybody is technical and wants to create that waterfall and has the bandwidth and time. So this is where Lead Finder by BetterContact comes on board. Up until now, what they had file enrichment and individual lookup, but now you can actually find leads. And how do we do that? We jump into the Lead Finder over here, and then we can start looking for filters. So first of all, if there are lists that we want to exclude, for example, companies that we are already aware of, then we can exclude them here, upload the list there. And we can search by lead name. For example, I can look for all the Ariel Levins in the world. There's about, 26 or 36, something like that. They work in several companies. I can look by job title. And I can import those job titles in bulk if I want to save some time. And I can also exclude job titles as well. I can go for exact match, so exactly a chief executive officer or similar matches, which is great. I can go by seniority, which we all know. It can go from anything from entry all the way to owner and founder and all that type of stuff. I can go by skills as they are represented on LinkedIn, for example, the different departments, their location, the company. So let's say I want to go with, Microsoft. Microsoft, can include that. Or I can also exclude them, okay? So that's going to give me a lot of other companies as well. So I can choose to include or exclude. And I can go by company name as well. So I don't have to have the domain. I can just know the company name. I can go by their company LinkedIn URL, the technologies that they're using, where their headquarters is, their specific headcount, industry they're in, and specific keywords. For example, I can look for, let's go AI, for example. And it's gonna find me companies that deal with AI. So then I'm gonna go search for leads. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna start swiveling around. And it didn't find any leads for me at the moment. Probably because a specific search that I did, I put AI here. And then I'm going to search for leads again. And let's see what it comes up with. So there's more than a quarter of a million employees here. And what I can do next is I can choose, for example, this current page or all the leads, or I can go like this. And then I can actually export those leads, or I can save the search. So I can save the search to come back to it, or I can export the leads. And when I export the leads, there's some very cool options. And what do I mean by that? So what I can do is I can just get the people, so their name, their company, their LinkedIn URL, and that's going to cost me 0.1 credits, which is pretty cheap, probably the cheapest you can get. And then I can get their email for 1 credit, I can get their mobile for 10 credits, or I can get a combination of both of them. And it's going to show me how many credits are required in estimation. And once I have that, I can export those leads. And what it's going to do, it's going to run and process those leads. And I chose the simplest option, and that gives me all the details for them. Now I can click on this person, for example, and I have the LinkedIn, their company. From here, I can take this information, I can choose to enrich it further, or I can download it and enrich it elsewhere, for example, in Clay or anywhere else, but probably doing it in BetterContact is going to be the cheapest and most straightforward option. And what it did is essentially just a reminder. It took 10 different providers and looked through them and found. So if you're looking to cover all of your total addressable market or TAM, this is a very, very good solution and I highly recommend it. I use it. I just use it over the last month to find 5,000 leads across insurance and all those type of industries. So it's pretty cool. Give it a go. I think there's a free trial and the pricing is pretty cool. So BetterContact, Lead Finder, and it has all the other benefits. For example, it has API. You have integrations here to pretty much all the major automation tools, except I think it has everything. It has Make now, so that's pretty awesome. You can connect it to Google Sheet, so pretty much everything you need. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. Thank you.